Hello and welcome to Iggy's Toy Parade and Soldier Review. Once again, this is your host, Iggy. Hi guys, welcome back. Tonight I'm going to show you some Africa Korp figures by various makers. And featured at the very top is a Panzer III by 21st Century Toys, or also known as Ultimate Soldier. And I've already presented the Panzer III to you, several of them, in fact, to you previously. This one I found in a tub with these figures. I've shown you Africa Korp figures before, but these are some additional figures that I found. Now, I do have a problem with the tank in that it's missing half of its hatch, which you can see here. And that's just one of the hazards of being in storage, I guess. I have something else that's been demolished by being in storage. The tripod of the MG42 team here is been demolished. You can see the remnants of the set right here. And one of the legs on the tripod is over here. So that's just the hazards and sorrows of being involved with storage, especially in a place where the temperature can vary so wildly during the course of the year, and it's been in there for years and years and years. So this is the Panzer III Ultimate Soldier. It's a die-cast vehicle, although the turret, I believe, is just plastic. But you can tell by the weight of the vehicle that it's the chassis is die-cast. Over here we have Africa Korp figures by Revell, and these are really good, guys. I really like these. And it also includes some poses that I think are different and therefore interesting. One is a sentry on duty with his overcoat. See that? That's pretty cool. Let me see if I can get closer. Now, when I looked this up, I didn't know who made these. In my journal, I have listed that I bought some Revell Africa Korp figures, but I didn't know it was these. And then I looked it up on YouTube, and I found this set, but my set is missing a figure. I don't know if I misplaced it or what, but it's of a guy in shorts with his head tilted back, and he's drinking from a canteen. I really like this figure in the prone position here. Very nicely done. You can see that the tip of his rifle has been broken off. That refers to some of the problems I've had with storage. I don't know where the tip of the rifle went. I did see it early. Oh, here it is. I don't know. I think maybe this might be it here. Right there. I gotta make sure not to lose that, because there might be some hope of putting him back together again. Now, these figures I thought were Revell, but when I tried looking them up, I couldn't find an image of these. These are also pretty cool figures. There is a problem with the Panzer Shrek. It's a little short. The Panzer Shrek was much longer than that. They did include the ballistic shield or the shield that, see that? So that's present, but it looks like half of the Panzer Shrek is missing. So, but these are awesome figures. Instead of a rifle, he's holding an MG40. Sometimes erroneously referred to as the Schmeiser. Okay, now this group down here is Matchbox, and these are original Matchbox figures. In other words, I bought these at a hobby store and took them out of the box myself, so I know that these are untainted with unwanted other pieces. Although you have to be careful nowadays because, like, Classic Toy Soldiers sells Airfix figures and they mix them. For instance, for Christmas, was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. I got some, or maybe it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, not sure. I got some Airfix German infantry, but it was mixed with Fallschirmjäger. He's got a figure of Rommel there. Rommel was one of Hitler's favorites. What he liked about him was that he was not a member of the Prussian aristocracy. Sorry. Hitler had a problem with that. In fact, his plan was that after they won the war, uh, Hitler was going to abolish the regular army and replace it entirely with SS troops. What a lot of people don't realize is that they think of Hitler as just being a militarist, a fascist like Mussolini, but it was actually a revolutionary movement and very class conscious. Hitler didn't like the upper classes, although he had no problem using them to his advantage. And in fact, when he was running for office, he solicited funds from various members of the aristocracy, many of whom did contribute to his campaign and to the Nazi party, but they had no clue that Hitler was going to do away with class distinctions. It was truly a revolutionary movement. Now, this is Airfix, and these two I removed from the box, so they should be untainted by other figures because I removed these myself. I purchased them in this group. I think I purchased in 1986, or I'm not sure. Let's see what this says. Airfix, purchased in Maryland in 1979. So that would make these some of the oldest figures that I own, because I didn't have any Airfix when I was a kid because I couldn't afford them. You know, I was always getting my soldiers at the Woolworths, and these were not available. Hello, I can't really talk. They weren't available at my Woolworth store, but they were available at the hobby store. I didn't get an allowance, so I wasn't able to purchase these. What I was doing was buying toy soldiers with my lunch money, which was 35 cents. Can you believe getting a lunch for 35 cents? But that was, back in the 60s. I did buy a lot of Airfix 172 scale figures at the hobby store when I was like 11, 12 years old. 10, 11, 12. I think I was collecting Rocco mini tanks at the time. And even though these were too big for the Rocco mini tanks, it was the closest thing I could find. Rocco mini tanks did release figures in 187 scale, but they were so small that when I had them in a plastic baggie, it looked like a bag of ants. I really just couldn't see them very well. But these are all original Airfix figures that you see here. I like this officer pose. And the grenade throwing, of course, is another cool pose. The only thing is, I wish they had had some of these with the helmets. Now, these rock formations are from Marks. These are Marks reproductions that I purchased at the West Coaster in California. But I thought, since I had them in the tub with these, that I would just throw them out there and put some figures on them. You could use these for other things, like, for instance, this one with the cave. That could be Ben Gunn's little hideout on Treasure Island. So there we have it, guys. Revell, Matchbox, and Airfix, plus an Ultimate Soldier tank. I'm not entirely sure if these are Revell. I couldn't find photo evidence to support that claim. They're not Airfix. Or Matchbox. I just can't remember who made these. I do know for a fact that these are Revell. And then, of course, we have the Marks formation pieces here. I like buying stuff like that. When I bought these, I also bought some Marks, what they call Marks palms and ferns, which they used in their prehistoric dinosaur set, and other sets as well. This machine gun team was really cool. I'm just sorry that I couldn't present it to you in its assembled form. Anyway, there's no marking on the bottom, by the way. And there's no markings on these either. These original Matchbox figures I bought in 1983, and they also have no markings. And then, of course, these Airfix figures I purchased in 1979. I didn't get really serious about my collecting until starting in the 1980s, but really taking off in the 90s because I had 2 jobs, and so I had a little extra income to spend, and I did spend it, quite a bit of it, as you know from watching my videos. It's kind of dumb that I did that, but everyone says to me, well, why don't you sell it off? And I'm like, no, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. I'm so sorry. Anyway, now you know why I've got it still. I know some of you feel a lot of regret that the soldiers you had as kids were given away or sold or thrown out. Everybody went through that, I suppose. My toy soldiers disappeared one night. Mom said, "You boys pick up these toy soldiers or I'm going to throw them out." And the next day they were gone, even though we had them all picked up and put in paper bags. They were in the living room still, and Mom said if she found them, she would. But we asked Mom about it. My brother and I sat down with her at dinner and asked her about it. She denied having thrown them out. So maybe the carpet installers that came that day might have taken them. I don't know. They just disappeared. But everyone's gone through that, and it hurts because you get older and you start thinking about things that gave you joy when you were younger. And it's with chagrin that you realize that they were sold in a garage sale or something. Some of you kept yours. I, of course, didn't have any of mine, and so I started collecting it again. Okay, that's all I got for you this time. I have to hit the sack because I'm meeting up with my brother tomorrow morning early, so I got to get going. Anyway, thanks for coming along for the ride. We had this Panzer III to act as an Uber for you. Can you imagine that? Someone showed up for an Uber ride and they were driving this? That would be awesome. I would pay for an Uber ride like that. As long as I didn't have to be the gunner, because then you can't stick your head out of the tank. Okay, guys, that's all I've got for you. Thank you for coming along. Those of you having enlisted recently in the past, enlisted in the Iggy Army, I appreciate you guys. I love your comments. And I'm just glad to have you. It's fun to be able to talk about these things again. So if you like this sort of thing, I do a lot of toy soldiers in 132 scale, not so many in 172 scale. I haven't found those in storage yet, but well, I think I did show you 10 boxes of Airfix, original Airfix, but I didn't really show the soldiers apart from a box of French guys, World War I French guys. I also do Star Wars, Star Trek, Indiana Jones. A lot of my emphasis, though, is toy soldiers. In fact, it's probably 90% toy soldiers. But if you like what you see and you like being part of the crowd that's starting to get a little larger, when we get to battalion strength, I want all of us to get together and invade a toy store and say, "Hey, come on, where's the toy soldiers?" As you know, it's really hard now to find toy soldiers in a toy store or in a Target or Walmart. You still can get them on eBay or online. So, but it was fun when you used to be able to go into a store and, look at what they had. But those days are over, I'm afraid. They're all gone. Okay, guys, that's it. I'm going to say Auf Wiedersehen, and take care of yourself and your family and your wallet. And I emphasize that because I spent too much money personally. But I love all of it. Still do. Probably always will. Bye for now, guys. I'll see you later.